together. We're all good. Oh, that's my... Can't lose my other Sharpie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your host for the evening, Raheem. So, hello. You're enjoying yourself. You're ready now for the last section of the evening with our fantastic headliner. We're going to introduce the act in a different way this time, right? With a little bit of audience participation. You're going to be singing. Yeah, it's very easy. Right? I'm going to split the room, right? You know the song "Dude Looks Like a Lady" by Aerosmith. Da da, dude looks like a lady. Do you know that song? Yeah. Okay. If you don't know the song, you just do the da da bit, right? So it's really quite simple. So it's like it goes da. Who wants to do the da side? Who doesn't know the words? Whatever. Screw it. It's going to go da, right? And then you'll do "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Can you do that? Right. Off we go. Right. 3, 2, 1. Da da. Dude looks like a lady. Da da. Dude looks like a lady. Da da. Dude looks like a lady. Da da. Please welcome to the stage, Shiny Man.
That was a fucking hate crime. Dyslexic transvestite walked into a bra. Never underestimate the importance of good entrance music. It was either that or Mysterious Girl. So my name's Abby Miles, the world's premier female meatloaf impersonator. They've asked me along to sing a few songs tonight. But I won't do that. So I grew up in the 1980s with all the strong male role models of the day. Prince, Freddie Mercury, Jimmy Krankie. My father was a pantomime Dane. Oh yes, he was. And my mother was a seamstress. She used to try dresses on me because she couldn't afford to buy a dummy. Luckily, I escaped unscathed with no lasting psychological effects. So the more observant amongst you are probably thinking, Susan Boyle let herself go. So I'd just like to address the obvious question on your minds. No, this is not my natural hair colour. So I am in fact transgender. I know. I hide it well. I'm the only person I know who threw their own gender reveal party. So I've been diagnosed with something called gender dysphoria. For those of you who don't know what that is, basically it means I'm not comfortable in my own foreskin. Yeah, so from a young age, I always knew I was different to everyone else, especially in school. In my class in school, I was very different to everyone. I was the only kid who only had one birthday and one Christmas, because my parents stayed together. I didn't even have the hot stepmom my mates fancied. It was horrifying. Traumatic, one might say. But coming out to my parents was quite a challenge. My father was in hospital following a massive heart attack. And my mum was understandably very, very worried. So I thought, I know, I'll take her mind off it. So I sat her down, I told her everything, and her words have stuck with me. She said, I really don't understand, but I support you. Isn't that lovely? It's lush, isn't it? Maybe now isn't a good time to tell your dad, though. My mum's always coming out with mad things. She, just after I told her, she said to me, is this because we made you and your brother dress up funny and do pantomime as kids? Now, I'm no trained medical professional, but I'm pretty certain that's not how it works. Mum did always say she wanted a girl, though, so congratulations, Mum. That is actually my parents in the front row. And then, not long after that, she was talking to my auntie. And she told my auntie all about it. My auntie said, are they happier now? And Mum said, like a different person. Yeah, true, absolutely true. And then recently, I went around to see my parents. I was wearing a lovely green dress. Mum was looking at me. She said, I'm trying to think who you remind me of from the telly. I said, who's that? She said, yesterday, I was watching Shrek. My mum thinks I look like Princess Bloody Fiona. Last time I get a Mac makeover. I have learned a lot about hair and makeup, though, in the last couple of years. One day I might put some of it into practice. Don't hold your breath. It takes hours to look this mediocre. But it's weird. I get asked for hair and makeup tips all the time. And quite frankly, I haven't got a clue. I just put on enough to cover the wrinkles and the stubble. Although the stubble isn't so much of an issue now. My biggest monthly expenditure is razors. I spend more in a month on razors than your average emo kid. Although I have heard recently they use those small blades out of pencil sharpeners. They obviously don't have disposable income. But yeah, and on top of that, I've got a nail tech now. She does lovely things to my nails. And every couple of weeks, she checks on them, sees if they're all right. And this one day, she said to me, they've grown a bit. We need to have a talk. This is a bit serious for a nail tech, right? And she said, Abs, you've got to understand, they're not sex fingers anymore. Tracy had a far better opinion of my chances than I did, I can assure you. But being of a certain age is quite difficult. Like most of my friends, I'm on HRT. They're all going through menopause. I'm going through puberty. So good. I did it twice. I've had a lot of unwelcome side effects since I started on the HRT. Recently, I've discovered I have completely lost the ability to, parallel park. I no longer understand the offside rule. And I frequently come close to peeing myself. I think that's mainly because I don't know what toilet I'm allowed to use anymore. Tough. It's not all bad, though. There are some up points to it. I tick a lot more diversity boxes now. It's good. I get a lot more gigs out of it. That's nice. And I'm harder to sack. Bonus. I make a banging gravy. And I always get a seat on the bus. I think that's because I look pregnant. But it's not all fun and games. I can go from horny teenager to evil hell bitch in the time it takes to eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's. Yes, I've had a few of them in my time. This is the body Ozempic forgot. I am on the large side. I do identify as skinny, though. I'm what they call trans-slender. But I have recently been diagnosed with a bad combination of illnesses. Apparently I have bulimia and amnesia. Yeah, I binge eat, forget to vomit. But I've always been a larger mammal, and the doctor was always concerned about my body fat, always high body fat. Apparently it's a lot worse now. Yeah, it's all trans fat. Yeah, I need a drink. Sorry, guys. Oh. Yeah, well, you better hope it's not vodka. Because not even I'm going to understand my handwriting by the end of it. So, growing up in the 80s, proudly part of Generation X. For those of you who don't know what that is, basically we were all born dead inside. Emotionless, cynical, borderline sociopaths. That reads a lot like my Tinder profile. Please give it a swipe, you will be disappointed. But we didn't have to worry about that back then. We did the real life dating thing, didn't we? That was great. But these days, a bit tough for me. Dating has got difficult, if you can believe such a thing. I mean, look at me. Specimen. Okay, no one's buying that. So, dating has got difficult. Most of my friends are straight women, and we go to regular pubs and clubs. That and the fact I won't go to gay bars because I hate ABBA and Steps. Struggle is real. So these days, if I see a girl at the bar that I like, I don't ask if she's single anymore. I'm going to ask if she's got a gay sister. But I was telling a friend about this recently, about my predicament, and she said, look, Abs, just bite the bullet. Start dating men. Where there's a will, there's a way. I said, the trouble is, in my case, where there's a willy, there's no fucking way. But my social life has improved no end recently. Recently, the girls from work invited me to bottomless brunch at Coyote Ugly. Yeah, that's the culprit at the back with the funny hat on. And we went to Coyote Ugly for bottomless brunch. No one told me bottomless meant drinks, not dress code. That's the last time they asked me to dance on the bar. I certainly put the cock in cocktail that night. But the dating thing, that's always been a toughie for me. I always get asked, don't you, what's your type? And I always said I don't have a type. Right? Recently, I discovered I do have a type. Nutters. Fucking nutters. That's my type. I shall illustrate. So one of my exes, she had these strange obsessions. Every now and again, she'd be obsessed with something. She was obsessed for a while with getting a pair of dungarees. Really. I said 2 types of people can wear dungarees. Decorators, pregnant women, and lesbians. But I'm not brave enough to tell them otherwise, right? So I said, you're neither, no dungarees. And a couple of months later, I got back from work. She ran up to me all excited, gave me a big hug and a kiss and said, guess what? I can finally get those dungarees. I was so happy. Best day of my life. My kitchen was finally getting painted. No. It was the other reason. Unfortunately, there were complications. It was a very difficult time for us both. And it was tough. But on the bright side, no dungarees, so it's not all bad. And that divides the room, that really does. And then my next, now ex, after that one, she had serious trust issues. She always was convinced, right? She didn't like me talking to other people, especially women. She was convinced there was another woman. All these years later, I've realised she was actually right. And then my most recent ex and I, we had this massive argument before we split. And she turned round to me, right? She turned round to me and said, your trouble is, you have to make everything about you. So after we broke up, I wrote my life story and took up stand-up comedy. So that showed her, didn't it? So another problem I have is I've got a really addictive personality. Thankfully, I was introduced to comedy and not crack. And I have recently become patron of a new charity. We're rehabilitating drug users by teaching them stand up. Yeah, it's called Crack Jokes, Not Pipes. But I've always loved comedy. I've always wanted to get involved. Ironically, it's only now I've had the balls to do it. And I've just passed my 1-year anniversary of doing comedy, actually. And this all came about because me and my best friend were going out for drinks, and she said, "There's an open mic there. You can get up and try and be funny." Yeah, now look at me. That went horribly wrong, didn't it? But yeah, I work quite hard in comedy. I enjoy it. I've done a lot of gigs, and I'm trying to get paid work. It's difficult to get paid work in comedy, right? There's a lot of comedians, not many good gigs. You take what you can. So recently, I took a gig in a fetish club. I say gig. I've got a humiliation fetish, so I thought if people were paying to laugh at me, that was a win-win. So I got up on stage, I did my set, nobody laughed. Yeah. Best night ever. But I've been working on ways to get my comedy funnier. I've been trying to study. I'm a keen student now of comedy. And I've been studying some of the classic old comedians and trying to work out what made them so good. And I realized most of them had either addiction issues or maybe some sort of deep personal trauma to draw from. Obviously, I don't have anything like that. So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to sort this out. I know, I'm going to get myself a drug habit. So I did what all middle-aged women do. I went on Facebook Marketplace to see what I could find. And there it was in front of me, the answer to my prayers. I found a local meth dealer. I thought, this is perfect. It could be so funny. I should have gone to Specsavers. Yeah, it was a local moth dealer. Yeah, my front room now looks like Silence of the Lambs. On the bright side, though, I do remember to put the lotion on my skin. So, yeah, comedy is a very, very expensive hobby. People think it's all glamour. It's really not. And last year, I had to go and replace my car. Right, in the first 6 months of comedy, I put something ridiculous like 12,000 miles on my car. And it was about to blow up. So I got a new one. And I've put quite a lot of mileage on that already. But it's a much newer, nicer car. And it tells you what's wrong with it. At the moment, there's a light coming up that said, oil maintenance required. Please call your dealer. So I did. I've now got half an ounce of really good weed. And it turns out he knows fuck all about cars. The oil light is still on. But yeah, I drive around a lot. I do a lot of mileage. And I love listening to music in the car. I'm a big music fan. Any music fans in? Any rock fans in tonight? Got some rock fans? Any Metallica fans in? Specifically? I'll just skip that joke. Or will I? No, I'm going to skip that one. We don't need that one. But I grew up in the 80s as a big rock fan, right? And it was terrible in Wales. We didn't get any of the good bands. We just got local tribute acts, and they were a bit shit, to be honest. We had Talbot Green Day. That wasn't so much American Idiot as Pontypridd Pisshead. We had Merthyr Head with their classic Ace of Blades. And from Deepest Darkest Newport, we had Limp Bizkit. Rolling. Very Newport indeed. Very Newport. Weirdly, though, in Wales, the Iron Maiden tribute band didn't go down very well at all. Calling a band Iron Lady in Wales was a bad move. Trouble was, at their concerts, every time a pit opened up, they closed it down. Yeah, I know, terrible. But yeah, I've got the old screen on the car. It tells me the name of the band, the name of the song, and in brackets underneath, if it's got bad words, it says explicit, just in case I get a bit offended. Yeah. Green Day song came on the way here tonight. I just looked at the screen. I thought, really, you need to warn me about that. Someone's called Fuck Off. How thick does Alexa think I am? But yeah, Alexa, bane of my life at the moment, right? Alexa hates me. Categorically, I can prove this. And this isn't actually comedy narrative. This is, honest to God, true story. I'm going to take you back to Christmas Day. Christmas Day. I went for a walk down the lovely Berry Island with my best friend and their little dog too. And there's a little shed down there, little horse box thing selling coffees on Christmas morning. Brilliant, had a coffee. And outside they had a sign. They had a little chalkboard. It said, life-changing brownies, £3.50. Now, a few things crossed my mind here. Number one was, how much of a change to your life will £3.50's worth of brownie make? Number two, if it doesn't change your life, do you get your money back? There were plenty of other thoughts, but they were the main ones. And Jane said to me, we'll find out. I'll buy you one. So we were wandering along. I ate it. No different. It's all good. Dropped her off, went down, had food with my parents. On the way back, she phoned me. She said, come out. Me and a friend are in the summer house in December. There were duvets, heated blankets, and a heater involved. But the summer house was new and needed to be shown off, right? So I get there. She said, leave the car here, get a taxi home, we'll just drink. There was a lot of gin involved. I got on very well with her friend, to the point where her friend sent Jane back into her own house to leave us in the summer house for a couple of hours. And then over the course of the weekend, things happened. Things were going all right for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to refer you back to my type. Yeah. That's what happened. So it all went a bit horribly wrong. I was a little bit miserable about it. I thought it was all good. I was a little bit miserable, a little bit let down. I was starting to think, well, next time I see a life-changing brownie, I'm going to be more careful about what I put in my mouth. No, I'm still finding them. So I was trying to get over it. I was trying to move on. And a friend of mine in Swansea invited me to a New Year's party. She said, come down to mine for New Year's. We'll have a great old time, good old drink, forget about all the crap. So I got in the car, pressed the buttons, put on the music. I always have a random playlist come up. And this is where, ladies and gentlemen, we have proof that Alexa is an absolute bitch. First song that came on, Blink 182. I Miss You. Skip. Song number 2 that came up then, I thought, this has got to be better, right? This has got to be better. I'm a rock fan. I listen to loud, uplifting, noisy music. Yeah, nothing compares to you, Sinead fucking Connor. Skip, obviously. Next song comes on. It's a lovely, beautifully, upliftingly titled song called You Can't Bring Me Down. That sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds great. So much better? Yeah, that's by a band called Suicidal Tendencies. I turned off the playlist before it got to She Fucking Hates Me by Puddle of Mud. Which, for reference, if you honestly go on Prime Music, right, the only song that you cannot find the original version of on there is She Hates Me by Puddle of Mudd. It's only a clean version, which means about 75% of the lyrics have been removed. What's the point? So yeah, that's my rant about Alexa, and like I say, that's bloody true. That bloody is water, I can assure you. So, bloody hell, that was good timing. So, I'd just like to say a little bit about the venue tonight. This is great being down here in the ship. Until recently, I hadn't been here since I was underage drinking at about 17. It was very different back then. We literally, where the bay window is through there, it was like a bit of a dingy dive. It was great. Had some very drunken nights in this place. So it's amazing to come back as a responsible grown-up and do responsible grown-up things. So on that note, I'm going to put you all out of my misery. And I'd just like to say a little plug. I did mention earlier, I wrote my life story last year. It's called Abnormal. Available from all good bookstores and Amazon. Please buy it. I'll get about 40p. Yeah, but I did actually nearly destroy the PA system. Right, that's gone. Okay, so I did actually do a book signing recently in Waterstones. I wrote I Hate You on 9 3/4 Harry Potter books. Band for life. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been fantastic. If you want to follow me on the socials, Abbey Miles Comedy on all the main social media platforms, and don't bother trying the Tinder, it's disappointing. Guys, thanks for all coming out tonight. Thanks for supporting local live comedy. A big thank you to our amazing host, Raheem Mustafa. Let's get him back on here. I'm going down there to think about what I've done. Good night.
Well done, everybody. Have you all enjoyed yourself?